This is Ryan Osborne for the Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net, 90.1 FM KBPK, in conjunction with Fullerton College TV. I'm here on the practice field of Fullerton College, where the Hornets are right behind me practicing after their 31-0 loss to Ventura College last Saturday. Unfortunately, it was not the result that they would have liked, as Ventura ended up with over 200 passing yards, and Fullerton just wasn't able to put some points on the board. They had to punt 7 times, and Ventura was just able to run away with it. Now, today I was able to catch up with Coach Tim Burns, talk to him a little bit about last week, but mostly looking forward to Mount Sac, what he thinks about the Mounties, looking forward to the matchup they're going to have, and what it is that they want to exploit.
You know, it was an overall letdown on everybody's behalf. I don't think we prepared them well enough as coaches. I don't think the players stepped up and made plays, and it was just an all-around weak effort by this football team and the coaching staff. But that'll be rectified this week.
Now, I noticed that you guys did end up running 3 quarterbacks. Is it important for them to get some reps early on in season?
Well, you know, we're still searching a little bit at quarterback. I mean, I think we got a great one, but once again, he's a freshman. I think the last time we started a true freshman was probably 10, 12 years ago, and that's tough, you know. I mean, and that's where I kind of mad at our coaching staff, because I think, and that's including me, is we kind of assumed that he was ready to jump in the fire, and we probably should have been a lot simpler for him. That was a job that we should have done for him to put him in a good situation.
So how do you translate an experience like a first game onto a second game like Mount Sac?
You know, we're going to coach harder in practice, and they're going to do better things in practice, and then when they get their opportunity, they got to perform. I think they'll step out and perform on Saturday afternoon.
Mount Sac ended up losing too, 30-6. Do you watch the results from the rest of the football teams?
I watched that game completely. The reason why Mount Sac lost, they did kind of a lot like us. They struggled at the quarterback position. They struggled throwing the ball. They turned the ball over 5-6 times.
So how seriously do you take the results like a 31-6 game on Mount Sac's behalf?
You know, Mount Sac, that's the best football team in Southern California. They're going to come out ready to play. They're going to be a lot like us, not very happy with their performance, and their guys will come out and play, just like our kids will come out and play.
Knowing that they do have a freshman quarterback as well, and even Jackson, who threw for 155 yards but 3 interceptions, how are you going to look to face up against him?
You know, we're not even concerned about him. I think we're concerned about our guys and our players on our defensive football team, just like our players on the offensive football team. I think if we concern ourselves about ourselves, we're going to have a great football game with them on Saturday. If we're worried about them, guess what? We're going to go get in some trouble.
How much do you rely on the game plan that teams used the prior year?
Yeah, I'm not looking at that at all this year. It's too early in the year. They got a lot of young players. We have a lot of young players. They're going to do what they do good, and we're going to do what we do good. And, you know, the best team's going to go out there, and the best team that doesn't make mistakes is going to go out there and win that football game.
Seeing that you do have Cerritos next week, Mount Sac this Saturday, how do you prepare for back-to-back games of that difficulty?
You know, that Ventura is pretty difficult. So, you know, that's just how you do it. You know, when you win football games, you got a proud program, you're going to play games like that, and you got to be prepared. And our kids are going to respond this week.
Now, seeing that your special teams you had a punter who ended up kicking 7 times. He had 325 yards, 50 yards a kick. Would you say he's the replacement for Casey Iman?
Oh, there's no doubt. He's probably our MVP of that game. But that's not good when your punter's the MVP.
Looking forward to the game that you have on Mount Sac, 12:30 start. How difficult is it to translate Thursday, Friday practice onto a Saturday 12:30 start?
We're going to be fine. We've scrimmaged during the day. We've practiced at noon on Friday, so we'll be ready. I mean, the heat's going to be tough, and guys are going to be going down and taking plays off, and whoever plays harder and takes less plays off and doesn't go out, guess what? It's probably going to be the more successful football team that day, and it's going to happen on both sides of the ball. They're going to be the same way we are.
When studying an opponent that's coming up, do you break down each position?
We break down every position. We break down every player. You know, we're going to break it down as in detail as possible.
Now, I know it's a little early on in the season, but do you scoreboard watch at all?
Not at all. I mean, right now, obviously, you look and see who's winning or losing. But, you know, like I go back to the Mount Sac game and our game, I mean, I think Honestly, both those teams, both of us should win those type of football games near the end of the year. We've been traditionally that strong, and I believe we're going to be there again. Now, I could be completely wrong, okay, but traditionally we're going to come back and be ready to go.
Now, you guys did run 5 different rushers, 33 yards, which was actually 3 yards ahead of last year's average. What allowed you guys to be able to pound the ball?
We ran the ball well. We just did not execute in the pass game at all. I think we got a great offensive line. We have great running backs, so we're going to be able to run the ball this year.
Would you attribute it to just some freshman hiccups?
I attribute it to just a lack of confidence in us asking too much out of the players right now this early in the season.
So now I'm catching up with special teams coach for the Fullerton Hornets, Dustin Sober. Coach Sober, you were an all-CIF player who went on to play for Fullerton College and onto a 4-year program. How do you translate that experience to the players here?
You know, it's just the work ethic that you learn through your experiences at the D1 level. You try to instill that in these young guys now, so when they make that transition, they are already ready to work as hard as they should up at that level.
Now, your special teams players did end up with over 60 yards in return, averaging over 15 yards each time. What allowed them to get into the holes?
We actually had a very disappointing showing on special teams. We tend to average a lot more yardage than that, and we are working very diligently this week to get our averages up to where they should be.
How do you plan on replacing Marnez Ogletree from last year? Obviously, he had 6 touchdown returns.
Well, that's the nature of the biz at JC level. You're always replacing guys. We only got guys for 2 to 3 years tops, so it's always a rebuilding season, and it's always on to the next guy.
Now, seeing that Casey Iman did move on to Portland State, how are you looking to move forward on that position?
We have a couple great kickers right now, a couple guys that played behind Casey last year that now they're getting their shot. They are stepping up and doing quite well.
On punt coverage, what is the most important things that you teach your players?
To maintain their leverage on the coverage and to run their feet through tackles.
Would you say it's more speed-based or more technicality position-based?
Oh, it's definitely speed-based, but you have to have the technique along with that, or you just have fast guys running past the returner.
What is the key to a successful returner or return?
It starts with the blocking. You know, you could have the fastest guy in the world, the shiftiest guy in the world, but if there's nobody out there blocking for him, he ain't going to get any yards.
Do you prefer man-to-man blocking or more of a zone block?
We're more man-to-man on special teams.
When you're looking at some recruits, what is one of the things that you are looking for to bring to Fullerton College?
Speed.
So, looking at your players and how they played on Saturday or last Saturday against Ventura, not the result that you guys would have liked, what are you going to translate onto your players looking at Mount Sac?
That we just need to play a lot faster and a lot harder.
Looking at how you guys do have that Mount Sac game, last year you were able to return 4 kickoff returns, 80 yards. Mm-hmm. How are you looking to exploit their kickoffs this season?
You know, they're always very well coached up on special teams, so we're looking to outwork them, get to our positions, stick on our blocks, and sell out on returns. You know, just got to hit the holes and go.
Would you say that kickoff coverage and blocks is more important, like paying attention to kickoff coverage and blocks is more important than just trying to take it to the house?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you have to take care of the finer details, which is the blocking scheme, to even think about taking it to the house. So, yeah, you definitely have to crawl before you walk in that sense.
You guys did end up missing a field goal. What is the coverage that you guys have for kicking a field goal?
Well, we got a field goal blocked because we were too deep on our set with the holder and because we did not get a good block on the edge.
What's the key to blocking an opposing team's field goal?
Speed. Staying low, pushing through your gaps, and taking the ball off the foot.
Well, thank you, sir. I am with special teams coach of the Fullerton College Hornets, Dustin Sober. I'm here with Derek Fletcher, safety for the Fullerton College Hornets. You know, Derek, looking at this upcoming schedule, you're a safety here at Fullerton, defensive back. When you're looking at an offense, seeing the quarterback for the first time, what tells you that you're going to have a great game? Just seeing how the offense is aligned.
It all depends on how the offense is aligned, of course, but then how they come out and how the pre-alignment is and the alignment of it's 2x2 or if it's only duo. It all depends on who I'm lined up against. And if the quarterback likes that certain receiver, then yeah, it's going to be a good game if he's hitting that target over and over.
What's your favorite form of coverage?
My favorite coverage,
Yeah.
I like our cover 4. It's called cover blue. It's kind of a man-to-man depending on what the receiver does. So that's what I like the best.
Which do you prefer? A fumble, taking it to the house, or interception, taking it 50 yards, not quite to the house, but momentum shifter?
I definitely like interceptions. Interceptions are definitely momentum shifters no matter what. When you get the ball to your offense and get the offense on the field and get them rolling, that's definitely a momentum shift.
So, what's your favorite aspect of being a defensive back?
Just dropping back into coverage, seeing what the quarterback's looking at, seeing what the receivers are doing, just getting back in my depth and looking at what everyone's doing and then getting an interception, of course.
Looking at the guys behind you, we got the practice going on here. How hard has it been to practice during the afternoons with some heat? Sometimes, like today, you got some wind, some cold.
Well, it's a big aspect of the game. The heat prepares you to practice. We practice at night, but this is always a good aspect of the game. Just getting prepared, getting our bodies in shape to go out there and play.
Now, seeing that you guys do have Mount Sac upcoming, are you guys fired up, pumped up to go against a rival that big?
Oh, definitely. We're pumped up to go against anyone, but to go against a good team like that who's physically and capable like us and just to go out there and hit somebody else, it feels good. We're going to be ready, definitely.
What goes in your mind when you do see, let's say a receiver catches the ball, he's coming at you, what goes through your mind telling you what you got to do?
The only thing that goes through my mind is make the tackle. Don't get embarrassed. Don't get your ankles juked out or anything. Just make the tackle. If he gets on the floor, then our defense gets another chance to fight.
Seeing how you guys played last year, absolutely amazing. What allowed you guys to be so successful?
Oh, just the whole complete defense. It starts with our defensive line, getting pressured. Then it starts with our linebackers, getting in the right coverage. Then it starts with us. When everyone's doing their job, do your job. It's easy. It's just be in the right alignment and you get an interception or you get a good play.
Now, I've noticed that the coaches really do emphasize you guys are a family. How does that aspect of the game off the field translate onto on-the-field performance?
Oh, definitely. It transfers on the field and off the field. When you could come together and be a family and be a group, it transfers because you trust everybody. You trust people on the field. You trust that they're going to be in the right place at the right time. And it comes with just when you're on the field, it just comes naturally.
What's your favorite part of just practicing with the guys?
Definitely the competition. The competition's the best part because everyone's trying to get a starting job. Everyone's trying to compete out here. Just when you come out here and everyone just hustles and everyone runs, it just automatically makes the game fun.
Now, I was talking last week with one of your offensive linemen, who's Alan Prado, who said that there is bragging rights when you guys do go one-on-one.
Oh, definitely. You get bragging rights until the next one-on-one, but definitely when you go against, in my case, a wide receiver, you definitely want to beat him up. You definitely want to put him in the ground. You definitely want to get the interception or something. It gives you bragging rights, but at the end of the day, we're always going to compete. I'm going to pick him up. We're always going to be family, but it always gives you bragging rights. That part's fun in the game.
What was the hardest transition of going from high school football, the level of competition, to college football?
I think the hardest part is the speed. The speed's a lot faster. The people are a lot bigger. I'm not the biggest guy here, but the people are a lot bigger. The people are a lot faster, and you just got to transition. You got to just come with it. Just do your best, and it's the best you can do.
Well, thank you, sir. I'll let you get back to your
Thank
guys
you.
right behind you.
Appreciate
I was with safety Derek Fletcher. For SportsNetUSA.net, 90.1 FM, KBPK, in conjunction with Fullerton College TV, I am Ryan Osborne for the Coach's Show.